Who are the people behind 100 Days of Trailhead? How did Rachel and Jessica become MVPs? We discuss our journeys into the Salesforce ecosystem without having a technical background. Welcome! It's Rachel and Jessica from 100 Days of Trailhead, the place where the tech community comes to learn Salesforce, learn tech, get inspired, have fun, and invest in ourselves. Whether you are brand new to learning Salesforce and starting from the beginning, or mid-career and skilling up for that new opportunity, we are your trail guides here to support you with an itinerary to help you get where you're going. You are in the right place. If you are new to our channel, make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons. Don't forget to click on the notification bell so you can be notified when we release a new video. In the description below, you can find links on everything we mention in this video, in addition to links we find helpful like books that have helped us and our friends along our tech and Salesforce journeys. To find other helpful Salesforce and tech content, visit our blog at 100daysoftrailhead.com.
Hi, I'm Rachel Watson.
And I'm Jessica Murphy.
So many people ask us, how did you get into tech? And how did you guys become MVPs? Well, we're here to tell you
who we are and how we got here.
Hi, I'm Rachel Watson. I'm a Salesforce MVP, and I'm here to say that I did not start with a CS degree or a tech background. In fact, neither of us did.
No.
So my journey started as an American Sign Language interpreter, and that's my first degree, American Sign Language. Later on, I went on to get a degree in digital photography, and I was told that I had to stand up a website, learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript in a mini-master, which was 6 weeks. I was terrified, but I made it through. More to talk about that later. However, while I was doing my degree, I had transitioned into higher education sales. So I was working with the higher education sector. I was working with underserved populations and helping them understand how they can use education as a tool to advance their life. And this is such a passion of mine because my mom is a retired teacher and I value education so much. I was also able to work with disabled vets and surviving families, which was an amazing, amazing journey.
My name is Jessica Murphy, and I am also a former sign language interpreter. I interpreted all over the state of Georgia, absolutely loved it, and moved to Phoenix, Arizona for career opportunities as a sign language interpreter. Interpreted in Phoenix, and people kept asking me, how do I learn sign language? So I began teaching classes for children and for adults. And I thought I need to go back to college and get a degree in this. And so I got a master's degree in education, adult education in fact, and I graduated summa cum laude, and I began looking for a job. I looked for a job because I wanted to work in a college. And so I looked for a job all over the Southwest, and I couldn't find one. So that was 2014, which leads up to 2015. In 2015, a lot happened. The first thing that happened is that Rachel and I were at an event for startups. It was an event that allowed you to learn from startups and learn about small businesses. And I was in the audience, and Rachel had gone to get water for us. And so I heard, just in earshot, this woman say, I am from Women Who Code, and I love teaching women to code. And I got so excited by this, so extremely excited, that I waited till Rachel got back. And when she got back, I said, Rachel, you need to meet that lady over there. She says she loves teaching women to code. And so Rachel was like, okay, because, Rachel's awesome. And so she went over to meet this woman.
So yeah, I walked up to her and I told her that we watched her presentation, that we really loved what she had to say, and that my friend Jessica had overheard her say that she loves to teach women to code, and that we want to learn more. So we walked out of the room and huddled together and tried to learn more at that time.
Yes. So afterwards, we went home and I Googled everything. I Googled everything I could about HTML, CSS, JavaScript, anything else, and connected with Sheena online. And what we learned were that there were several organizations that would allow us to learn to code.
Mhm.
And the two that were most applicable to us were Women Who Code and Girl Develop It. So we started going to Women Who Code and Girl Develop It events, and we absolutely loved it. And we were learning about all types of technology.
So yeah, we learned about the lean stack and the mean stack. Didn't know what the heck either one of them were, what the benefits or disadvantages of each were. We were swimming in tech jargon. And so we were just trying to fish our way through and figure out how, so there's this huge thing called tech. Where do we channel our energy to find our career in it, and what's a viable career? So as we got into these organizations, Girl Develop It had these dine-in demos where they would you would come to eat, but you would also, watch somebody demo a particular technology. And one of those demos actually was Salesforce from a local lady. And it was very interesting. I found it very intriguing from that dine-in demo. And then there was a lady that later took us to an event, which we'll talk about later.
Okay. So along the way, Sheena invited us to learn Ruby on Rails. We went to a day-long Ruby on Rails hackathon. We jumped in head first. That really happened. We rethought our life at that point, but we still went on. We went on with it. I got accepted into a Ruby on Rails boot camp. I got accepted into a JavaScript boot camp. And when this Salesforce thing happened, when Paula Nelson invited us to this big Salesforce event, I was already in boot camp. I absolutely knew the trajectory of my career. I was going to become a Ruby on Rails developer and who knew JavaScript. And so Rachel said, will you please go with me? And I was like, okay, we're going to this Salesforce event. And so it was our first Salesforce event that was being held by the user groups. And the speaker was none other than Chris Duarte.
Yeah, she was very, very compelling.
Yes.
She has such a big heart, and she's very candid, and it comes through in her own personal story, which she did deliver that day. But she also delivered her enthusiasm for Trailhead and what it can provide, us as community members to help us on our journey. We even completed a module before lunch, and what she was talking about was Sales Cloud. And I was like, I know these sales processes. So by the time lunch hit, I looked at Jessica, we're picking up our boxed lunch, and I said, I'm quitting my master's degree and I am starting Salesforce. She said, well, what? And I said, yes, that's what I'm doing, because I can't take and channel my energy in two directions. I'm going to have to choose. And worst case scenario, I can always come back to this, but I just got to give this a go. And I'm so glad I did.
Yes. And a few things happened after that. The next community event was David Liu. David Liu came to Phoenix to teach Apex. Now, understand, Rachel and I had just started Salesforce. I was still in boot camp, by the way. Rachel and I had just started Salesforce. And
what do we do?
We jumped headfirst into learning Apex at David Liu's event. Had no idea what we were doing. And Rachel and David had a really meaningful conversation that really changed things for her. And then the last thing that happened in 2015, and a lot happened in 2015, is that Paula, Rachel, and I started Phoenix Salesforce Saturday, the second Salesforce Saturday in the world.
In the world.
Yep.
So that group is all about knowledge sharing and collaboration and supporting each other. It just was really, it's been wonderful. We love our members.
Yes.
So in 2016, out of that same energy of that collaboration, supporting each other, we wanted to start a group for women developers, because every single time we went to a meetup here in our local area, it was like just us two, or maybe if we got super lucky, maybe one or maybe even two women. That was like jackpot. And we wanted to have a place where at least I wanted to be able to feel like I could ask questions.
Yeah.
So we started that with Zane Turner And as soon as we were about ready to launch,
Yes.
the WITDEVS, Salesforce hired Zane, and we were sad, but we were excited for her, and we have been cheering her on the sidelines ever since.
And so this other thing happened. Rachel was supposed to go to Dreamforce that year.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. You want to tell that story?
Yeah. I was with that educational company, and I got all my approvals. I got my supervisor approval, everything through the main channels, and to go to Dreamforce, but a week out past any kind of refund possibilities. They told me if I went, I was fired. So I chose not to go.
And so I went to my first Dreamforce alone. Well, actually, it wasn't alone. Paula Nelson went with me, but when she got to San Francisco and got in the hotel room, her company contacted her and said, we have this deliverable, and we need it yesterday. And so Paula spent all of Dreamforce 2016 in the hotel room working on what her company wanted to accomplish. So I went to all of the sessions at Dreamforce. But let me tell you the exciting part about Dreamforce 2016, other than going to see YouTube. That was awesome. I went to see YouTube. That happened. The other exciting part about 2016 is that for my first Dreamforce, my first session, I got to be on a main stage with none other than Mary Scotton. And in the audience were also really cool people. One of the people that I got to meet at my first Dreamforce, my first session, was Selena Suarez. And also at that Dreamforce, I spoke a second time, and I spoke with two people who have become amazing friends, and that is MVP Missy Longshore and MVP Marisa Lopez, who is the Madam President of Amplify. And so 2016, even though Rachel didn't get to go, was amazing. And by the way, I made it back in time to go to Phoenix Salesforce Saturday.
What a whirlwind tour that was.
That was crazy.
All right, so in 2017, we did this community initiative called 30 and 30, which was get a trailhead badge every single day for 30 days. That was a whirlwind, and we got really great at getting badges, but at the very end, I know that we didn't feel like we were learning a whole lot, so we had to redo some of those learning objectives. But we became Rangers.
Yes, we became Rangers. I mean, I would never recommend getting a badge a day for 30 days. That was really, really challenging. Like, that's why, we have different rules for 100 Days of Trailhead. Okay, but speaking of 100 Days of Trailhead, that was the year that we came up with the concept, or really, actually, it was me. It was a fever dream. I had the flu, and I was really sick. It was after Christmas, and I woke up and I said, we should do 100 Days of Code with Women Who Dev User Group, because that's what we were called then. And so Rachel was like, okay, but you have a fever, so you need to go back to sleep. I was like, well, okay. So she said, write down everything you're going to do. And I wrote down everything. And then afterwards, to keep the commitment to myself and everyone else, I tweeted out, we're going to do 100 Days of Code with Women Who Dev User Group, which we later named 100 Days of Trailhead. And so we went through with it. And the idea came just a few days before the start of the year. So in 2018, we started 100 Days of Code with Women Who Dev User Group, later named 100 Days of Trailhead. And so we'll get back to that. But another amazing thing that happened in 2018 was
we became MVPs.
Yes.
That was so surreal. Oh my gosh.
It was so cool.
Yeah.
And we were so honored because if you look at the website where they're talking about all the MVPs, we were like, wow, we're in league with these people? Oh, how cool is that? Okay. And then we also did 100 Days of Trailhead competition. And it was our first year. It was really about learning and about tweeting and about learning how to tweet sometimes and about all of the fun. And at the end of the 100 days, we had our first 100 Days of Trailhead celebration with this amazing crowd of people who were excited about what we were doing. We started the Golden Unicorn Awards at that Trailhead. At that Trailhead DX. We started so many different things. We started honoring people who went through the 100 days. Yes. We even honored the people who had even tried to go through the 100 days. It was such a great celebration.
It really was. I mean, because these people dedicated an hour every single day to their learning and their development for a total of 100 days. And so we really wanted to honor that. And that's the reason we started this, is to encourage those people to move forward with their education and their learning.
2018 was exciting because Rachel and I also spoke. We spoke at community events, we spoke at Trailhead DX, and we spoke at Dreamforce 2018. 2018 was a great year for us.
Absolutely. So 2019, we were renewed as MVPs.
Yes.
And then we had this huge blow up of 100 Days of Trailhead.
Yes.
It was amazing.
Yes. Because we had already bought the blog site. And so we started the blog in 2018, 100daysoftrailhead.com. And people all over the globe participated. In 2019, we had 2 tracks. We had one track that was 100 days of learning and one track that was 100 days of app building. 100 days of learning is about learning. It's about the points. And the points mean that you actually learned it, not about the badges, right? So that was really exciting. And then also in 2019, we added app building. As an educator, my understanding is that the highest form of learning is to take what you've learned and reapply it. So we were saying, take all this wonderful stuff that Trailhead has taught you and build something. In the immortal words of Leah McGowan Hare, be a builder.
Absolutely.
And we also spoke at Dreamforce that year and community events, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great year.
2018, we spoke in Dreamforce and Trailhead DX and community events, and same in 19.
Yeah.
So 2020, renewed as MVPs for the 3rd year.
Yes.
And then we were able to take our backlog from WITDEVS of all of our technical meetings, because that was a request that Ohana, or the Salesforce community, asked us to do for about 2 years, but we were traveling so much we didn't have the time. So it's been our honor to be able to upload that into the 100 Days of Trailhead YouTube, and there's a plethora of different topics here.
Yes, everything from trigger framework to workbench to, surviving and thriving as a woman in tech, flow, gathering requirements, and so much more. We also had 100 Days of Trailhead this year. And this was a year unlike any because of Rona. And so we wanted to have a bright spot in everybody's life.
Yeah.
So for the 100 Days of Trailhead celebration, we had a good time. We came together, WITDEVS and Amplify. We came together and we created an event that had karaoke, an event that had dancing. And yes, I danced with my dance partner, which was my Dyson. I danced a lot. It was awesome. If you weren't there, you missed it. It was fantastic. And also, we like Rachel said, we did the backlog. And there's this other thing that we're doing in 2020 that we've never done before. You see, for every event that we've had up until now as WITDEVS and as 100 Days of Trailhead, we've gamified. We've gamified meeting people. We've gamified so many things. And so because it's a different type of year, we decided to have the WITDEVS and Amplify Great Fall Scavenger Hunt.
Online scavenger hunt.
It's going to be an online scavenger hunt. Okay, so tell them more about the scavenger hunt.
Okay, so on the scavenger hunt, you're going to be taken to a variety of different places. I'm not telling you where yet. And you will have to accomplish certain things. So it's like a giant quest. Now, here's the coolest part. You know that we have some good prizes, right? So we have first place, a Nintendo Switch, a certification voucher, and
an I Miss Dreamforce swag bag.
So place number 2 is going to be a mini movie projector with a
I Miss Dreamforce swag bag.
Place number 3 will be a JBL speaker. Place number 4 will be
I Miss Dreamforce swag bag.
And place number 5 is
I Miss Dreamforce swag bag.
And also, as a part of this contest, you can have an opportunity to win
this t-shirt.
So today starts this contest
at noon Pacific time. So what you need to do to get ready is to comment down below, I'm ready for the Great Fall Scavenger Hunt with WITDEVS and with Amplify. Okay? And then get on social media. Let's get excited because this is going to be so much fun. So tweet at WITDEVS, tweet at Amplify, tweet at the Rachel Watson, Jessica R. Murphy at 100-Day Trailhead. I'm ready for the WITDEVS and Amplify Great Fall Scavenger Hunt.
Don't forget to join the scavenger hunt today at noon Pacific Standard Time. Thank you for spending time with us. Make sure you like this video. It helps a lot. Click subscribe and on the notification bell so you never miss another video. We also handpick these videos which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on Instagram, Twitter, and on our website at 100daysoftrailhead.com, all of which are listed below. Thank you for learning with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.